What's going on, boys and girls? We're going to check out the Rogue class in Diablo 4, the new kid on the block. Let's see what this class has under the hood. In this video, there is a total of 7 legendary aspects in the Codex of Power we're going to review. That's defensive, resource, and utility. As of the making of this video, we only know of 4 defensive legendary aspects, 2 resource, and 1 utility legendary aspects for the class. Without further ado, let's get involved. Starting off with the defensive legendary aspects, we've got cheats. You take 5% less damage from crowd-controlled enemies. Whenever a crowd-controlled enemy deals direct damage to you, gain plus 15% movement speed for 2 seconds. And as a friendly reminder, this is a defensive legendary aspect, so it can be applied to any helm, chest, or pants, and amulet at plus 50% increased effectiveness. The Enshrouding defensive legendary aspect says gain a dark shroud shadow every 3 seconds while standing still. Each dark shadow grants 2% increased damage reduction. So Dark Shroud will surround you with 5 shadows that give you about 11.2% increased damage reduction per shadow that you have. But every time you take direct damage, one of those 5 shadows is removed, and also 11.2% damage reduction is also reduced, until eventually there's none left. The cool thing is there's a 10% chance whenever you as the rogue take direct damage to not consume one of those shadows. In addition, as long as you have 2 shadows around your rogue, you have plus 10% critical strike chance. A pretty solid legendary aspect. Siphoned Protection defensive legendary aspect, Lucky Hit, damaging a vulnerable enemy with a core skill, has up to a 20% chance to grant a barrier for 5 seconds that absorbs some amount of damage up to a maximum number of a value. So that's kind of nice. At least there's a ceiling on this. If there was no ceiling, you could just siphon a whole bunch, have a shield that's impenetrable, impregnable, and you basically can't be killed because that shield would be massive, right? Potentially. So at least in this legendary aspect, the design of it's kind of nice. There is a cap on that, so at least you can, as the aggressor to this ability, punch through at some point. Always wear protection. Uncanny Resilience. Whenever you trigger a lucky hit, gain 5% increased damage reduction for 5 seconds, up to a maximum of 15%. Taking a stroll over to the resource section, Energizing legendary aspect says damaging an injured enemy with a basic skill generates 5 energy. And resources can be applied to the helmet, ring, and then your amulet at plus 50% effectiveness. The Ravenous resource aspect says killing a vulnerable enemy grants you 50% increased energy regeneration for 4 seconds. Vulnerable is a status ailment in Diablo 4 that you can apply by hitting targets in the game with abilities that make them vulnerable. And once you have a vulnerable target, some amount of his HP is going to be vulnerable. So if you kill something while it had that status ailment, you increase all of your energy regeneration by 50% for 4 seconds, quite literally becoming a ravenous, bloodthirsty rogue, stabbing the piss out of things because you get to. Congratulations, you're ravenous. Explosive Verve utility aspect. Your grenades count as trap skills. Whenever you arm a trap or drop grenades, you gain plus 10% movement speed for 3 seconds. And utility legendary aspects can be applied to the helm, chest, boots, gloves, and then the amulet at plus 50% increased effectiveness. And so far, that's what we know about the defensive, resource, and utility legendary aspects for the rogue using the Codex of Power in Diablo 4. It's interesting to me. I can see a character mechanically being kind of fleshed out through these skills. In the shadows, it's defensive as hell. It's like, it gets in, it gets out. It hits quick and moves. I really like that concept for the class. New kid on the block seems kind of dangerous, not gonna lie. I'm kind of intrigued. Let me know what you thought about it, and thank you so much for checking out the video. I'll catch you on the next one, where we go over the offensive legendary aspects for the rogue using the Codex of Power. Much love, adios, and tell someone you think they're great, because you are. See you.